this guy's next door in jail, going to go to court and possibly face the death penalty, possibly face life in prison, and never be able to hurt anybody out here again.
Only on Fox Carolina News tonight, a man with a long history of violent charges now faces a new murder charge in a Greenville County cold case. Deputies say DNA linked Robert Voorhees to a woman's death. In 2023, the coroner says Janet Abrils was beaten to death in Lakeside Park off Piedmont Highway. Investigators say Voorhees was her killer. Days after this charge, Voorhees was charged in another attack, and that only adds to what court records show is a lengthy record. And only on Fox Carolina News tonight, the sheriff says Voorhees should have been behind bars when Janet was killed. Our Brookley Cromer has more on the sheriff's calls for judicial reform.
Given Mr. Voorhees' criminal history, does it make you feel let down at all, just knowing what he has been charged with in the past?
Sure. I mean, it's a huge disappointment from where I sit. I can't imagine the anguish that families feel to know this guy was out walking around, enjoying his freedom, doing what he wanted to do.
Do you think that things could have been different if he was given a harsher sentence back in 2004?
Obviously, if he was in jail, it wouldn't happen. This lady'd be alive. This last CSC victim would not be a victim. I think it would be way different, depending on the sentence he got back then. But if he was still incarcerated, these people certainly live a vile life and make criminal decisions and victimize people. All of that really ties into judicial reform, which we've heard a lot about.
What specific reform would you like to see?
The Judicial Merit Selection Committee is a horrible way to do things. You have lawyer legislators on that committee that are sitting before judges whom they appoint. We find that most cases are worked out long before they go to court. It comes down to those political connections from what judge was sitting on the bench to what attorney was representing the case or what attorney was signed on to the case. You talk about fairness in the justice system. I think everybody should certainly face the same penalty and everybody should be treated the same way. We certainly have to do that on the law enforcement end. We're held to a higher standard when we investigate these things, no matter what crime it is. Some deals worked out in a back room before they stand before a jury.
Should more cases go to trial?
When they don't go to a jury trial, most of the time it's maybe for a reduced sentence or, or they know there's overwhelming evidence that they don't want a jury to see to make it any worse. We have a lot of people who plead to a life sentence instead of facing a death penalty of some kind. So I think that makes a difference. I know it would not be practical to have a jury trial for every suspect that goes through our system. We don't have a courtroom big enough. We couldn't pull enough jurors to make that happen. But in the most violent cases where we have violent offenders who have hurt people, I do think, in my opinion, that it's much more effective for them to face a jury of their peers instead of a deal being reached.
Do you think our judicial system is failing women?
I think it's failing everybody. It's not just women. Certainly we hear more about that when you talk about assaults, domestic violence, criminal sexual conduct, all those things. Our system is failing our residents, period. It's failing our young people, failing males, females, our seniors. It's failing everybody. It just depends on if you're charged with a crime, what attorney you get, what connections they have, and what judge they're going to stand before. So yeah, it's absolutely, it's failing everybody.
Should this most recent case with Mr. Voorhees, should this be a death penalty case?
That'd be up to the solicitor, obviously, but I definitely think so.
Do you think that's a possibility?
I don't think she has enough information at this time to sit down and look at the case. I don't think she has all the facts on this particular case. If you look at everything else that happens, the aggravated circumstances, the other victims, this guy's a career criminal. I think she'll certainly agree it should be a death penalty case.
As a Brookley Cromer reporting, Voorhees remains inside the Greenville County Jail without bond.